Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a chat about all the secret rares from Triumphant Light. That new set got released today. Yeah, they didn't muck about. They revealed it yesterday, they released it today, and I am very excited about it. There's a bunch of new secret rares, and look, no, there's nothing on the level of the Okacheke Mamoswine we had in Space Time Smackdown. That would be frankly bizarre. That's my favourite Pokemon drawn by my favourite artist. Nothing could be better. But I'll tell you what, there's still some pretty cool cards in here. So let's start off with the full art regular Pokemon. We'll go in order, and that means we start off with Houndoom. And it's one of those cards where they've nailed the Pokemon. They have absolutely got the look of the Pokemon down here. It's just Houndoom in the dark, looking menacing. Even a little bit of fire coming out of the mouth. Everything about this card art is perfect. If I were a Houndoom fan, and Houndoom's fine, is not a huge fan one way or the other. If I was a huge Houndoom fan, this would be one of my favourite cards ever. As it is, I just think it's neat. I should actually say, in terms of what the card does, we got 2 energy, 60 damage, can't retreat next turn. It's not terrible, but it's not special. Now, the Marill isn't special in terms of what it does, but oh my word, the art. I have a friend whose favourite Pokemon is Marill. They are exceedingly happy right now. Why is one of their tails wrapped around a piece of bamboo? Don't really know. Why is one of them eating a random leaf? Don't really know. But oh my word, they're just cute. They're adorable. They're wonderful. They're lovely. It's brilliant. It evolves into, as a Marill, 2 energy, 60. It's worse than It's bad Houndoom. And I said Houndoom wasn't special. It's not the point. The Marill is adorable. Now, Unknown has phenomenal artwork here with just a bunch of different Unknown chilling. But actually, it's a playable card as well. Because once during your turn, you may choose either player. Look at the top card of that player's deck. This is a very big deal. Now, what you can do here, if you want to really try hard it, we do have an item card that will let you look at your opponent's hand. We got Hand Scope. So I'm just saying you could use that and then look at the top card of their deck and then have perfect information. Realistically, what this does is it helps you make decisions. You can use this to look at the top card of your deck to know what your options are going to be next turn, to help you decide what to do this turn, or the same for your opponent. If you're terrified that they're going to have a Cyrus in hand, for instance, but you know if they had Cyrus, they would have used it last turn, so now you just hope they don't draw it next turn. You can use this to look to see if they're going to draw that Cyrus to drag your Pokemon active. Sometimes you don't know what's in your opponent's hand, but you know if they had a particular card, they would have played it. So now, Unknown tells you if they're going to get it next turn. Now, Sudowoodo is apparently chilling with a bunch of bonsai tree that looks suspiciously like Sudowoodo. Love that little touch on the artwork there. And it's actually a decently playable card as well. Single fighting energy, 50 damage against a Pokémon EX. But let's not forget here that this is the Arceus set. And I think Arceus looks pretty gosh darn good. And as far as I'm concerned, you mash that all together and you're going to need a card against Arceus. This. Now with weakness it's doing like 70. It's a 2-hit KO. I love this. It's just a 2-hit KO on an Arceus for a single fighting energy. Sudowoodo. Sounds good. Now, the best of them this time round in terms of the regular Pokemon is Magnemite. I will take no counter-arguments. It's just phenomenal. And look, the loads of these are great, but Magnemite wins. Magnemite is the best of them. I will not be taking any questions at this time. The Magnezone, for what it's worth, is the one Arceus supporting Pokemon we didn't get to see last time, as in yesterday, because we didn't have a good enough look. It just takes 30 less if Arceus is in play, and it's free energy 80. It's not particularly good, but the Magnemite is stunning. And then the last one we've got here is the Shaman that I showed you yesterday, the only one that was showed off yesterday. It's just Shaman looking cool, frankly. And it's Minami Namitake, which is, the artwork. Mina Minami. There we go. I feel like I said it terribly a minute ago. It also reduces the retreat cost of basic Pokemon, which makes it a very good card a bunch of people are going to play. Now, moving into EXs here, the rule is very simple. All the ones that don't have an immersive / crown have a special art, but the ones that do, don't. And then they've all got a full art. So if we have a look at Leafeon, we've got the full art, and then we've got the adorable Sleepy Leafeon. And I told you this yesterday, but I really, really like it. The ability Forest Breath says, once during your turn, if it's active, you can attach a grass from your energy zone to one of your grass Pokemon. Actually really good itself, because you can put 2 energy on it in one turn. Makes it much easier to get going, and then, turn 2, free energy 70 isn't stunning, but it's all right. But it's also good energy acceleration. And remember that Shaman will give it free retreat, so you can essentially put it active after a KO or whatever, and then attach an energy, retreat, for free. Job's a good un. Glaceon has both a full art and a special art, and this is the one that I showed you yesterday. And I don't love this card. Free energy 90 is a bit meh, although of course you got stuff like Misty to accelerate energy. And if it's active, you do 10 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon during Pokemon checkup. In slow games where there's not much going on, this can help the damage tick up rather nicely, but I just don't really like the attack. I don't want to be rude, I just don't think it's terribly special. Now, Garchomp is actually the one that I pulled. My pulls this morning were terrible, but I got this Garchomp. He's fighting Arceus. It's amazing. Single energy 50 to one of your opponent's Pokemon, free energy 100. I actually just much prefer the Garchomp from Space Time Smackdown, honestly. I think that's a better card, but I like this one for the artwork. I think the artwork is phenomenal. I like Garchomp. Garchomp's always been one of my favourites. And it's one of those where the full art is good, but then the special art here is, well, at the risk of sounding a little bit uncreative, a bit special. And then the last EX that we've actually got here that just has your regular and your special is Probopass. Who had Probopass gets an EX on their bingo card? Because I'm willing to bet you didn't. Free energy, 90 damage, and it takes 20 less from attacks next turn. It's not actually terrible. 160 HP, little bit of bulk. This is quite nice. And there's a supporter card in a minute, which is going to make it even better. But then obviously Arceus gets both an immersive and a crown rare, because that's what these do. That's how they work. They're phenomenal. The Arceus, for what it's worth, is actually just, I love it. Can't be affected by special conditions, and it's 70 damage, plus 20 more for all of your bench Pokemon. Free bench Pokemon, 60, yes. Job's a good un. This is awesome. Go team. And then obviously the immersive is stunning by Takumi Wada, and the crown rares. I'm not a huge crown rare fan. Like, they look cool on the phone and all that, but they've never been my favourites. As for the supporter cards, what we got here is 4 supporters, each of which gets a full art. And we might as well start off with Irida. I like Irida. Heals 40 damage from any of your Pokemon with water energy attached. Now, worth noting here, it's not water Pokemon. It is Pokemon with water energy attached. What that means is that you can put water energy on anything and it gets healed with Irida. And remember, it is each of your Pokemon. And between stuff like Misty and Vaporeon, it means you're actually going to be able to spread your energy around a little bit. And I'm just saying, this could be phenomenal, phenomenal healing. Now, the one I mentioned a minute ago was Adamant. This is the one that's going to work just wonderfully with Probopass, because it just says that your metal Pokemon take 20 less from attacks during your opponent's next turn. But when you combine this with what Probopass does naturally, it's taking 50 less next turn, and it's got 160 on a stage 1. Sure, the attack isn't phenomenal, but you've got enough bulk here that this could work very, very, very nicely indeed. We've got ourselves Barry. During this turn, attacks used by your Snorlax, Heracross, and Staraptor cost 2 colourless energy less. So basically, there's always going to be options for taking these Pokemon and making them a lot better. So Heracross turns into 50, but flip 2 coins if both are heads, 120. Not going to work very often, but when it does, that's going to be cool. Snorlax turns into 2 energy 100, but it itself goes to sleep. And Staraptor turns into 1 energy 130, which is awesome, but it is on a stage 2, so yeah. And then the final one we've got here is one, again, no one saw coming. It's Celestic Town Elder. Puts a random basic from your discard pile into your hand, but if you want to be playing around with specific basics, this is awesome. A lot of the time, you will only have one basic in your discard, so this will just get back whichever one you want. If you're trying to do fancy things like playing like a dual Patchy deck with 2 Pachirisu, this then gives you access to a 3rd and maybe a 4th Pachirisu, so you can switch around so that they're not getting KO'd. Seems pretty good. For me, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming in here, but the Garchomp and the Magnemite, they are the ones for me that really stand out. But there's so many cool cards here. It is awesome. Even the Probo Pass is phenomenal. But I've told you about all of them now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me how excited you are about these. Tell me what you want to do. Tell me anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @LeWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Ashley Munns, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.